Hi dears, this is Raji. In this video, we are going to start with a new chapter, periodic table. Sometimes some crooked mind will be working out and we will be thinking, oh, why we need to learn about periodic table? What's the benefit of learning all this? Okay, yes. See this picture. Imagine mama is getting into your room. Your books are scattered around like this. Okay, your laptop is on your bed and your t-shirt is lying down on the floor. Then there is no wonder she will be getting angry and she will be giving you a long advice also. At the end of it, she will add one more sentence. What is that? When you will change. Okay, yes. So why she is getting angry? If you're arranging things like this, it is difficult to find out a particular one out of it, right? You will be missing lot of time. Instead of that, had better, we arrange things systematically, right? Now see this picture. In 1800s, more and more elements were discovered. So just like a systematic arrangement was needed for your books, scientists started thinking about classifying the elements systematically so that we can study the properties of these elements easily. Okay. Different attempts were made by different people. Dobrynin in 1829 classified the elements into group of three called as triads. In 1864, Newlands introduced the law of octaves. So just after 5 years, Mendeleev could classify all the 63 elements known at that time in the increasing order of atomic mass. Okay. We have learned about all these attempts in class 9. But these were having their own drawbacks also. So some modifications were required, right? Yes. Yeah, so initially when people were trying to classify the elements, they were concentrating on the atomic mass. So they were trying to classify the elements based on the increasing order of atomic mass. Okay. Later, an English physicist, Henry Moseley, in 1913, through his X-ray diffraction experiment, concluded that instead of atomic mass, atomic number is a better criteria to classify the elements. And he found that the physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number. And this is known as modern periodic law. Unlike other scientists, Moseley was thinking just out of the box and it was a perfect table. And he was supposed to be awarded with the Nobel Prize of that year. But in between, something so sad happened. That time, World War I was going on. Moseley was enlisted as a volunteer in British Army. His family pleaded with him to continue with his research work and not to go and join in the army. But he didn't listen. It's so sad to say Moseley was shot dead by the enemies in the battle. Yeah, he was so young, only 27 at that time. We miss Moseley, right? Yes. In 1916, no Nobel Prizes were awarded in physics or chemistry. What's the reason? Because it was definite that if Moseley had been alive, he would have received one of those. Okay, so sad, right? Yes. Moseley's periodic table was later modified by Neil Bohr and Bury, and we have modern periodic table now. In order to solve the questions related to periodic table, we need to have some basic idea about the periodic table. Okay. In the modern periodic table, you can see some horizontal rows. Correct? Yes. These horizontal rows are known as periods. Got it? And you can see some vertical columns also. Right? Yeah. And these vertical columns are known as groups. Okay, so if you are trying to move from left to right of the periodic table, you will be moving through the periods. So if you are trying to move from top to bottom of the periodic table, you will be moving through the groups. Understood? Yeah. Earlier, the groups were named as 1A, 2A, 3B like that. But now, as per the new IUPAC recommendation, we are naming these groups continuously from 1 to 18. Okay. So, how many groups are present in the modern periodic table? 18 groups you should write. Okay. And how many periods are there? Yeah, see, total 7 periods are there. Understood? Or 7 horizontal rows are there. Got it? Yes. So, you should remember this one. We said that there are 18 groups in the periodic table. Okay. And what's the name of group 1 metals? Group 1 metals are known as alkali metals. What's the reason? Reason is that if you're adding these metals into water, they will be forming strong alkali. For example, sodium. If you're adding into water, you will be getting sodium hydroxide. Correct? Yeah. So, as they are forming strong alkali in water, these group 1 metals, we call them as alkali metals. What's the name of group 2? We call them as alkaline earth metal. What's the reason? Their oxides are alkaline in nature. At the same time, it will be existing in earth crust in the form of minerals. Okay, so that's the reason we call them as alkaline earth metals. Okay, group 13 we call them as boron family. Group 14 is carbon family. Group 15 is nitrogen family. Group 16 is oxygen family. Group 17 is fluorine family? No. It is known as halogen. Why we are calling them halogens? Halo means salt. Gen means generating, salt generating. That is a meaning. Okay, so whenever we speak about salts like magnesium chloride, sodium chloride, etc. See, halogens will be definitely present in them. Okay, Then group 18 is known as noble gases. Why we are calling them so? Reason is that they have completely filled outermost shell. As a result, they won't react with anything. As they don't react with anything, we will call them as noble gases or inert gases also. Okay. Remember, group 1 to 2 and 13 to 18 will be showing gradual variation in properties. So, these groups, 1 to 2 and 13 to 18, we call them as normal elements. Okay. Otherwise, we call them as representative elements also. So in class 10, we need to learn only about representative elements. That is group 1 to 2 and 13 to 18. What about group 3 to 12? They are known as transition metals. And you can see two rows of elements which are kept at the bottom of the periodic table. They are lanthanide series and actinide series, we will say. Together, we call them as inner transition metals. About transition metals and inner transition metals, we need to learn in detail in class 12. Okay. In order to answer all the questions related to the periodic table without any mistakes, you will have to memorize the atomic number of elements 1 to 20. Okay. See, teachers are singing songs for you, rhymes for you to by heart that. Okay, you can learn that. Just before exam, you will have to recollect all these elements in such a way that if I say atomic number 15, you will be recollecting it as phosphorus. If I say chlorine, you will be recollecting its atomic number as 17. If I say element nitrogen, you will be telling the atomic number as 7. Right? So, in the beginning, you can learn it in the order 1 to 20. Later, in between also, you will be able to recollect it. Okay, then only we can save time at the time of exams. Okay, yes. One more point to be remembered. You will have to recollect, the names of group 1 elements also. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. And group 2 also, if possible, you can memorize beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. Along with that, you should recollect group 17 also, group 18 also. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Helium, neon, argon, trypton, xenon, radon. Whichever is the easy method, follow that method and try to by heart all this. Group 1, group 2, group 17, group 18 and 1 to 20 atomic number. Before answering the board question, we will have to learn one more concept. Okay, what is that? How to identify the position of an element in the periodic table. Whenever they are mentioning about the position of the element, so you will have to specify in which group or in which period that element is present. Okay, write an example. Sodium. What's the atomic number? You will have to learn that. So that is 11. Electronic configuration will be 281. Sodium belongs to which period? It depends upon the number of shells which are present in sodium. See, in sodium, electrons are distributed in 3 shells. Okay, K, L, M. 3 shells are there. So, what is the period number? Period number is 3. Okay, And how to identify the group? Yeah, group number depends upon the number of valence electrons, right? How many valence electrons are present in sodium? That is 1. So it belongs to group 1. Check whether it is correct. Which is period 3? This is period 3. And which is group 1? This is group 1. Okay, where is the position? Yeah, this is sodium. Got it now? This is the way to identify the position of an element in the periodic table. Write one more example. Potassium. Atomic number 19. Electronic configuration 2881. Can you tell me what is the period number? Yeah, so we will have to think about how many shells are there. K, L, M, N. 4 shells are there. Okay, so period is 4. What's the group number? Yeah, group number depends upon the number of valence electron. So here it is 1. So that also belong to group 1. Check whether it is correct. Yeah, group 1 and period 4. See, yeah, this is the position of potassium. Now write one more example. Magnesium. Atomic number 12. Electronic configuration 2A2. Yeah, what's the group number? Group number depends upon the number of valence electrons we said. That is 2. Okay, what is the period number? Period will be equal to the number of shells. That is equal to 3. Now you know that how to find it out. Okay, check whether it is correct. Magnesium belongs to, yeah, that group 2 and period 3. Correct. Here is magnesium. Correct. Okay. Now, write one more example. Aluminium. Atomic number 13. Yeah. Electronic configuration 283. 3 shells are there. So, period is 3. No change at all. But people will jump upon and write group number as 3. It's wrong, no? See, this is group 3 and this is group 13. Aluminium is not present in group 3, right? It is present in group 13. After group 1 and group 2, yeah, you will be getting 10 elements that are transition elements. So whenever the valence electron is greater than 2, we will be adding 10 to that. So actually the group is 13. Why we are adding so? Because just before that 10 elements are coming. They are transition metals. Got it? Now write one more example. Chlorine 17. Electronic configuration 287. Period. There is no change at all. Yeah, period number is 3. Okay, because 3 shells are there in that. What's a group number? Group number depends upon the number of valence electron. Yeah, it is 7. Greater than 2. So what we will add? We will add 10 to that. 10 plus 7, 17. Where is the position of chlorine? In period 3 and in group 17. Agreed. One more you write. Yeah, write argon. Atomic number 18. What's electronic configuration? 288. Okay. Yeah. What is the period number? Period number will be equal to 3 only. Right. What's the group number? It depends upon the number of valence electron. It is greater than 2. So we will add 10 to that. So group will be 18. Got it? Now see this question. These are the board questions related to the topic which we have discussed now. Read and find out. Atomic number of an element Z is 16. Answer the following. State the period and the group to which Z belongs. If you know the atomic number, yeah, immediately you can write the electronic configuration. That is 286. Correct? Yeah. So what will be the period number? Period depends upon the number of shells. Correct? Yeah. 3 shells are there. So period is equal to 3. Okay. And which is a group? Yeah, group number depends upon the valence electron. If the number of valence electron present is greater than 2, we will be adding 10 to that. So what will be the group number? Element belongs to group 16. Got it? Okay, yeah. They are asking whether Z is a metal or non-metal. If it is a metal, generally it will be having 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in its valence shell. If it is a non-metal, it will be having 5, 6 or 7 electrons in its valence shell. Okay, generally we can say like that. If so, in this element 6 electrons are there. So can you tell me whether it is a metal or a non-metal? Yeah, this element is a non-metal. Easy. Okay, yeah. See the next one. Write only the letter corresponding to the correct answer. The number of electrons present in the valence shell of halogen. Halogens belong to group 17. Okay, yeah. If it is group 17, what will be the number of outermost electron present in that? Yes, how we are getting this number? Yeah, 10 plus 7 actually. Why we are writing so? Because we had discussed that if the number of valence electron is greater than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. Yeah, we will be adding 10 to that. Then only we will be getting the group number. Correct? Yes. So what will be the number of valence electron? That will be 7. Okay, answer is D. Easy. See this question. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. An alkaline earth metal. Alkaline earth metals belong to group 2, right? Yeah, what are the group 2 elements? Yeah, see, in order to answer these questions correctly, had better be by hearted. Okay, it starts with beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. Out of the given option, which is the correct one? That is calcium. Okay, yes. Name the metal present in period 3 and group 1 of the periodic table. So if it is present in period 3, yeah, it will be having 3 shells. Okay. And if it is in group 1, in the outermost shell, yeah, how many electron will be present? 1. After filling the inner shells only, electron will be going to the outer shell. So the inner shell will be completely full, right? K shell can accommodate maximum 2 electron. L shell can accommodate maximum 8 electron. Okay. What is the atomic number of this element? That is 11. Which is that element? Yeah, having atomic number 11, that is nothing but sodium. Correct? Yeah, that's the answer. Now see this question. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. In the periodic table, alkali metals are placed in the group. Alkali metals belong to group 1. A is the answer. You know that. See this one. Give the number of the group and the period of the element having 3 shells with 3 electron in the valence shell. It will be having 3 shells K, L, M, and 3 electrons are present in the valence shell. So the inner shells will be completely accommodated. So K will be having maximum 2 electron, L will be having maximum 8 electron. So we got the electronic configuration. Again they are asking which is a group and which is a period. Period will be 3 because 3 shells are there. Group will be 13. What's the reason? If valence electron is greater than 2, we will add 10 to that. Okay, so group number is 13. Easy. See the last question. An element A belonging to period 3 and group 2 will have. Period 3 means we are writing 3 shells. Okay, it will be having 2 electrons in their valence shell. So what will be the answer out of this? Yeah. So the element will be having 3 shells and 2 valence electron. This is the answer. Easy, no? We have discussed a very small topic, but these many questions you have answered. Thanks for watching. See you in the next